I have wanted to be a lawyer since I was in 5th grade.
I just wanted to seek justice for as many people as I could.
I've always really wanted to help people in ways that they couldn't help themselves.
With the clinical program, I got to do what I came here for, which was to help people.
My very first client that I was given when I started in the parole clinic had done 47 years in Angola.
My client's family's home was shot up with bullets.
And I had to do what I could to protect him, and that will get you out of bed in the morning.
We got that final yes that he had been granted parole, and just the emotion that came off of our client.
It really crystallized for me just how important it is that children who are experiencing things like trauma and poverty like that have good qualified advocates.
The clinic is a place where students actually represent real people in need under the supervision of a faculty member. So it's their very first experience where they're actually not pretending to be a lawyer, but actually being a lawyer with a real person.
Nothing equals having responsibility for a living, breathing, hurting client. You never go to a doctor who had not operated on a patient. Yet people go to lawyers all the time who've never seen a client.
We are designing our courses so that students really understand best practices and are really developing into professional attorneys that will benefit the bar on graduation. We're also providing a much needed service in the community. We are assisting individuals who would not have representation otherwise.
Our students see a perspective of the client and how needed they are. So I think it opens their eyes not just about the practice of law, but it can open their eyes about life, about compassion, about empathy, about understanding someone who might be very different than you are.
I used to be a person that didn't really believe in second chances, and I always felt that there were black and white and there was no gray. It would bring you to tears to see the relationships that we've developed, the work that we've done, and the reward, which is essentially them walking out.
One student who'd been very nervous at the beginning was successful in representing her female inmate who'd been in jail for over 30 years, if you can imagine that. She successfully got her parole, and she had arranged for a hairdresser to come in and do the woman's hair before she left the jail. And I said, bingo. They come in often with notions about their clients, a very objectifying notion. They leave fully humanized.
They had developed a brief that described all of the person's accomplishments since they had been incarcerated. And finally the client looked at the students and said, I have never read anything where anyone wrote anything good about me. So thank you. They had made an impact, and they needed to think through how the lawyering that they do for clients is lawyering that actually continues to empower clients.
The student-teacher ratios have to be small so the students can get the attention and the teaching that they need to develop those skills. So philanthropic support is essential for smaller programs like that because they're more expensive. Gifts like Rick and Donna Richard's gift to the clinic are essential to give our students the opportunities to become great lawyers.
The Law Clinic program here at LSU is why I was able to go into a courtroom in my first month as an attorney and be a qualified practitioner, confident and able to stand up and make a good argument to the judge. Keeping a good file, filing any motion that you believe has merit are lessons that I now have an opportunity to share with new lawyers coming into our office.
I've been privileged to go to the United States Supreme Court twice and sit as a second chair in both cases. And one of them was Montgomery versus Louisiana, which dealt with juvenile sentencing. And I knew what Henry Montgomery and his family must have been going through as well, because I had sat on the other side of the aisle in the clinical program.
Through the clinic, I learned how to get people in contact with families, get them signed up for programs, and kind of help them get their lives together so when they walk out they have the best chance that they can have. And since I have graduated, have continued to do pro bono work for them because that type of work meant so much to me.
Those who have gone through experiential courses or have gone through the clinical program have already had that first blushing experience. They've already been able to make their mistakes in a very safe environment. So they leave prepared to practice law.
It's the best job ever because it melds practice and teaching and working with students as they are putting those two things together. And you start seeing how they develop responsibility for clients, they develop their professional identity.
I think in the next 10 years, with the continued support of our alums, with the support of the faculty and the support of our students, that these programs will grow, that we'll have potentially more clinics, but we will definitely have more full-time faculty who are teaching in the clinic. What we would love to see is we would love to see expansion into more transactional clinics, a community economic development clinic, a small business clinic, maybe a veterans clinic. So I see growth, expansion, and excitement.